Hi guys, I'm Jenna. I'm a junior at Lehigh, and this week I'm going to be doing a travel presentation on the Grand Canyon. So to begin, what is the Grand Canyon? It is a natural formation distinguished by layered bands of bedrock. It is one of the most famous and most visited national parks. And if you don't know what the national parks are, they are parks throughout the US that are protected by the government and open to the public. There is a total of 62 national parks in the US, and they're really cool. I highly recommend. So the location of the Grand Canyon is in the northwest corner of Arizona, which is a state out west in the United States. Um, the Grand Canyon is close to the borders of Utah and Nevada. It is 277 miles long, which is something that you can't even comprehend. It is up to 18 miles wide and more than a mile deep. The geological process, which means like how the Grand Canyon was formed, is actually a debate among geologists. They don't really know exactly how it was formed, but the general consensus is that the Colorado carved it over millions of years ago, and they estimate about 5 to 6 million years ago. So here's a picture of the Grand Canyon, and I really like this picture because it shows the layers of bedrock that I was talking about earlier. And this picture is pretty wide, but it can't even capture the whole canyon. It's literally huge. I highly recommend going. It's like something you've never seen before. So yeah. So now for my trip. So I went to the Grand Canyon when I was 18. It was 2018. I was going into freshman year at Lehigh, and my mom had planned a trip for my grandma to see a bunch of the national parks that were out west in the country. Before she got too old to travel, we did it as a family. So in this picture, it's my aunts, uncles, my sister, my mom, my dad, and my grandma. And yeah, so we flew to Arizona where the Grand Canyon is, and then we rented a car for the rest of the national parks, which I'll do other travel videos on those because they're really interesting as well. So yeah, the Grand Canyon was our first stop in Arizona. It was just a really cool experience. So here's some pictures of my trip. I really like this picture. It's really cool. I'm looking over the canyon. It's really scary. Here are my cousins and I and my sister. Another picture of my cousins and I. So yeah, for fun facts, there's more than 1,500 plant, 355 bird, and 89 mammalian, 47 reptile, 9 amphibian, and 17 fish species found in the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon National Park is bigger than the state of Rhode Island. So if you can picture how big that is, that's crazy. No one is completely sure about the canyon's age. As I said before, there's a lot of debate on how it was started, when it was started, etc. It's full of fossils because of all the species that live there, and the air at the Grand Canyon is among the cleanest in the US. So something I didn't get to do when I went to the Grand Canyon was the Grand Canyon Skywalk. As you can see from the pictures, it's a huge walkway with glass that overlooks the canyon, so it feels like you're flying or walking on air almost. It's really cool. I've heard great things about it. It towers 4,000 feet above the Grand Canyon. It cost $30 million to build. It was built in 2007 with 100 million pounds of steel, and it makes you feel like you're walking on air. And it was built to withstand 100 miles per hour winds, which is good because that would be crazy. So yeah, if I go back or when I go back, this is going to be the first thing I do. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed my presentation and it inspired you to travel. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye guys.